I watched Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, so here's my spoiler-free review. I have a bit of a longer review over on my other socials, so you can check those out, but here's my shorter breakdown of my thoughts on the film. I was incredibly excited for this film. I'm a huge fan of the franchise, but I do not think this film needed to be 2 hours and 49 minutes long. I actually came out of this film with more criticisms than I expected to have, and they all mostly lay in that first hour of the film. They play on a lot of nostalgia, callbacks, and a ton of lazy, clunky exposition. Not only are they trying to explain to you things that happened previously, but they're also trying to explain to you what is about to happen and what is happening currently to our characters. And they do it every few minutes or so it just feels like a bit of a slog. And at that point, the only thing keeping me invested in that first hour was my love for the franchise and my love for these characters. But once we kind of start moving out of that first hour, I start to find myself getting locked in with this movie. I enjoy the dynamics of the team we put together, we start getting a bit of more emotional beats, and the callbacks feel a little bit more earned. I will admit they do take a bit of a Fast and Furious route in terms of kind of retroactively making things in previous installments become a little bit more relevant to this film specifically, but it's done in a less egregious way than the Fast and Furious franchise. We're also getting a ton of new characters, which could feel a little bit overwhelming at times. But because these new characters are played by familiar faces that I think people really love, it was great to see them pop up. They set up some huge stakes with our big action set pieces, which make them that much more intense. One underwater sequence in particular feels very much like a horror film. Overall, I really enjoyed this film. I think it found its way in those last 2 hours. Everyone involved is doing a great job. Its biggest failures come in that first hour, I think, and it does ultimately find its way to a very entertaining film that I did really enjoy. So if you're a fan of the franchise or just these big kind of crazy stunts, definitely check out this final installment of the Mission Impossible franchise, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.